There's a scarecrow that I know who's always got a happy glow. He's never sad, never feels bad, you see. Whenever summer breezes blow, he dances with a happy glow. He's happier far than either you or me. He has the sky, he has the sun, he has his friends the birds. With all of these he has such fun, he has no need for any words. So you and I can get a glow, forgetting all our care and woe, if we will take it easy just like him.
Have a happy glow, life can be a sweet thing if you will. Have a happy glow, life can be a sweet thing for you still.
Whenever summer breezes blow, he dances with a happy glow. He's happier far than either you or me. So you and I can get a glow, forgetting all our care and woe, if we will take it easy just like him.
Have a happy glow, life can be a sweet thing if you will. Have a happy glow, life can be a sweet thing for you still.
It isn't everyone who is lucky enough to have a song written about him. But I'm a very lucky scarecrow, and the official songwriter of Oz wrote that song about me. And I like it very much because it says just what I think, that everybody should be happy and enjoy and appreciate all the good things of life around them. Did you hear that word, appreciate? Well, a little while ago, I wouldn't be able to say that word because I wouldn't know what it meant. Because I didn't have any brains. I was just a head full of nothing, all full of stuffing. But then, the Wizard of Oz gave me some carefully assorted, double-distilled, high-efficiency brains. And now I have become very philosophical and wise. And I can remember everything that ever happened to me. Oh, yeah, like the wonderful story I want to tell you now. As you know, I live in my own corncob palace in the Winky County of Oz. But sometimes I get very lonesome. And so I travel all around Oz visiting my friends. This story all started the time I went to visit Glinda the Good in her castle in the Quadling Country. Among the many wonderful things in Glinda's palace is a magic TV set. She can see everything that takes place in all the world just the instant it happens. And so, therefore, she records it in the pages of her great set of books of records, so that everything that happens in the world she has a record of. What you do and what I do. And in this way, she learns when and where she can help any in distress or danger. And although her duties are confined to assisting those who inhabit the land of Oz, she is always interested in what takes place in the unprotected outside world. Glinda the Good greeted me warmly as I came into the great hall of her castle.
Welcome to the most popular man in all of Oz, our great and good friend, the Scarecrow.
Thank you, Glinda the Good. I trust this night finds the royal sorceress of Oz in the best of health.
Truly, but there's exciting news appearing on the magic TV set. Some strangers from the outside world have come to Oz.
Where are they? Who are they? Oh, I must meet them, welcome them. Aren't they the first strangers from outside since Dorothy blew in?
The very first. There are two of them from California, an old sailor named Captain Bill, and a young girl named Trot. They've been befriended by an orc from Orkland.
Oh, what's an orc?
An orc is a strange and wonderful creature. It's a huge bird, a kind of helicopter-style ostrich, but with 4 legs.
4 legs?
Orcs always have a beautiful scarlet plume of feathers on the tops of their heads, and they're very intelligent creatures.
Isn't that... Where's Auckland?
Somewhere in the wide outside world. Our friend the orc got lost exploring and was sucked into the same whirlpool that captured Captain Bill and Trot.
What's a whirlpool? Sounds dangerous.
It's rather like an underwater tornado. A whirl in the air makes a whirl in the water, which sucks everything down to the bottom of the sea.
Oh, I would never drown, being only a straw. But these outside people, being mortal, they didn't.
No, Scarecrow. The whirlpool deposited them in a strange cavern under the sea. That's where they met the orc. And together they discovered a long, dark tunnel, which eventually led them to daylight. And they found themselves on a strange little island.
Since there are no oceans or lakes in Oz, therefore there cannot be islands. And hence, they must not be in Oz. You see how my brain works?
That's very logical, Scarecrow. But they are near here now.
Can I meet them?
They're in Jinxland, and I think they need help.
Where's Jinxland?
Very near here, a little to the east of us. In fact, Jinxland is a little slice taken off the Quadling country, but separated from it by a range of high mountains, at the foot of which lies a wide, deep gulf that is supposed to be impassable.
Then Jinxland is really a part of the land of Oz.
Yes, but Oz people know nothing of it, except what is recorded here in my book.
What does the book say about it?
It's ruled by a wicked man called King Cruel, although he has no right to the title. Most of the people are good, but they are very timid and live in constant fear of their fierce ruler. There are also several wicked witches who keep the inhabitants of Jinxland in a state of terror.
Do those wicked witches have any magical powers?
Yes, they seem to understand witchcraft in its most evil form, for one of them has just transformed one of the strangers, Captain Bill, a respectable and honest old sailor, into a grasshopper.
A girl? Oh, how awful.
Oh, yes. Captain Bill is now a grasshopper with a wooden leg.
A wooden leg? Did he have a wooden leg before?
Yes. He'd met with an accident and thus could not go to sea anymore. He lived in a boarding house run by Trot's mother and had devoted himself to the education and companionship of the little girl.
This Jinxland must be a terrible place. We must help these innocent strangers.
Yes, we must. Things are very bad there. The worst of the wicked witches, Blinky by name, is also planning to freeze the heart of a beautiful Jinxland girl named Gloria.
That's a dreadful thing to do.
Yes, and King Cruel has driven Trot and a little boy named Button Bright right out of the castle. They've taken temporary refuge in the hut of Pon, the gardener's boy.
It seems like things in Jinxland are in a terrible mess.
I think you should go to Jinxland to protect Trot and Button Bright and Captain Bill.
All right. Oh, I know Button Bright already, for he's been in the land of Oz before. You remember? He went away from the land of Oz in one of our wizard's big bubbles.
Yes, I remember. I'm going to give you certain special magical things which you may need. And I think you should start for Jinxland right now, for the night is the same as the day for you.
It is true that I have no need to sleep. Oh, but I will need a light to guide me.
I will give you one. Goodbye, Scarecrow, and good luck.
Thank you. So it was that I started on my journey to Jinxland. By morning, I had reached the mountains that separate the Quadling country from Jinxland. The sides of these mountains were much too steep to climb, but I used a small magical rope which Glinda had given me. I tossed one end high into the air, and it unwound and unwound and unwound, and finally caught itself on a peak of rock at the very top of the mountain. So I pulled myself up very easily and just as easily descended the other side of the mountain. But now I faced the great gulf which must be crossed before I could reach Jinxland. Looking around carefully, I found a small, fuzzy brown spider on the ground. Gently, I put 2 tiny magical pills beside the spider, and quickly he ate them up and began spinning. In a few moments, the little creature had spun 2 slender but strong strands that reached all the way across the gulf. So, walking on one strand and holding onto the other, I crossed the great chasm and soon found myself on the plains of Jinxland. Off in the distance, I could see the castle of King Cruel. So I started to walk that way. But then I saw a boy and a girl coming down the road toward me. So I hid in a cornfield. It was Trot and Pon. They stopped right beside where I was hiding to eat their lunch, which consisted of an apple apiece. An apple for him and an apple for her. When his apple was finished, Pon tossed the core into the field, and it hit me right in the eye. What do you mean by hitting me in the eye with an apple core?
Excuse me. I didn't know you were there.
How did you happen to be there anyhow?
Ah, you're the gardener's boy. And you are the little girl who came to Jinxland riding on a big bird, and who has had the misfortune to lose her friend, Captain Bill, and her chum, Button Bright.
Why, how'd you know all that?
Oh, I know a lot of things. My brains are the best that the Wizard of Oz ever manufactured.
I think I've heard of you, but you used to live in the land of Oz.
Oh, I do now. I just come over the mountains from Quadling Country to see if I can be any help to you.
Who, me?
No, the strangers from the big world. It seems they need looking after.
I'm doing that myself. If you will pardon me for saying so, I don't see how any scarecrow with painted eyes can look after anyone.
If you don't see that, then you are more blind than the Scarecrow. He's a magical man from the fairyland of Oz, so he can do most anything. I hope you can find Captain Bill for me.
Well, I will try anyway. Who is that old woman who is running toward us and shaking her stick at us?
My goodness, it's that old witch Blinky. We better run.
Get out of my way, Scarecrow. I must get those monstrous children.
They are not monstrous children, and I will not get out of your way.
Get out of my way, or I'll turn you into a lizard.
Don't you know it's against the law to practice evil witchcraft in the land of Oz?
Against the law, indeed. Land of Oz, indeed. I do my work for King Cruel, the ruler of Jinxland.
He is a tyrant and a usurper.
He is my king, and for him I have turned the stranger, Captain Bill, into a wooden-legged grasshopper. But best of all, I have frozen the heart of the Princess Gloria, so she no longer loves Pon, the gardener's boy. And thus will marry Googly Goo, the king's advisor.
No, you must undo those dreadful things.
I will not. I will undo you instead.
No. I stood up to the wicked witch, but not for long, for she beat me over the head with a cane and knocked me to the ground. Then before I really knew what was happening, she had pulled all the straw out of my body and scattered it over the field. Fortunately, she did not harm my head, for it rolled into a little hollow and escaped her notice. But except for that lucky break, I was in the worst fix of my life. All that was left of me was an empty suit of clothes, a scattering of straw, and my head, which fortunately was still thinking. I was a fine one, I thought. Glinda had sent me to help strangers, and all I had succeeded in doing was to get into terrible trouble myself. While I was thinking these thoughts, a grasshopper with a wooden leg hopped up and lit on my head. Pardon me, but you are resting yourself upon my nose.
Oh, are you alive?
That is a question I have never been able to decide. When my body is properly stuffed, I have animation and can move around as well as any living person. The brains in my head you are now resting on are of very superior quality and do a lot of very clever thinking. But whether that is being alive or not, I cannot prove to you. For one who lives is liable to death, while I am only liable to destruction.
Seems to me that in your case, it doesn't matter unless you're destroyed already.
I am not destroyed already. All I need is restuffing. And if Pon and Trot escape the witch and come back here, I'm sure they will do me that favor.
Oh, are Trot and Pon around here?
I did not answer at once, for I suddenly found myself looking upward into one of the most beautiful faces I have ever seen. It was Princess Gloria.
The head of a scarecrow and a wooden-legged grasshopper talking.
Oh, you must be the princess who loves Pon, the gardener's boy.
No, I do not love Pon or anyone else, for the wicked witch has frozen my heart.
Oh, what a shame. One so lovely should be able to love.
We gave old Blinky the slip, but oh, Scarecrow, what has she done to you?
Oh, it's all right, Trot. I'm just a little disassembled. But you and Baum can put me together again in a jiffy.
Hey, let's get all the straw and just start stuffing.
Trot, look at me. I'm Captain Bill. See what the Wicked Witch has done to me?
Oh, Captain Bill, dear Captain Bill, what a cruel thing to do.
Don't cry, Trot. It didn't hurt any, and it doesn't hurt now. But it's mighty inconvenient and humiliating, to say the least.
I wish that I was big enough and strong enough to give that horrid witch a good beating. She ought to be turned into a toad for doing this to you, Captain Bill.
Never mind. Such a transformation doesn't last always, and I'm sure we can find some way to break it. I spoke with more assurance than I felt. Things in Jinxland were really jinxed, and I wasn't at all sure, with all my brains and the little magic Glinda had given me, that I could set them to rights. Gloria's heart was frozen. Captain Bill was a grasshopper. King Cruel was still on his throne, and Blinky and the witch friends were roaming the lands doing mischief and worse. I was going to say that Button Bright was lost again, but just then in flew the orc with the boy on his back.
Hello, everybody. I got lost again, but my friend the orc found me.
Yes, I not only found Button Bright, but just before that, I found my homeland.
Oh, I'm so glad. You've been looking so long, even before you met us and flew us here.
Oh, it was nothing. Orkland is not far from here. My family and friends welcomed me home with a huge celebration. Oh, yeah, it was quite a party indeed.
Why did you come back to Jinxland?
And to tell you the truth, I was worried about my friends here. They don't seem to be able to take care of themselves very well.
Things are worse than you think, Orc. Captain Bill's a grasshopper.
He's a what?
A grasshopper, dang never, can't you hear?
A grasshopper? Oh, how in the world? When the minute I turn my back, you let yourself get turned into a grasshopper of all things. How do you like it?
I don't like it at all. I'm always afraid of being stepped on, and I don't like the taste of grass.
Well, that's a great pity, and I'd like to meet that cruel king and his wicked witch and punish them both severely.
Friend Orc, may I introduce myself? I am the Scarecrow of Oz, and Glinda the Good has sent me here purposely to help these people. Perhaps you can join our cause.
Oh, I'll be glad to do anything I can.
Good. Then now let's hold a council of war. I think we're all here. Answer the roll call, please. Trot.
Here.
Captain Bill.
Here.
Button Bright. Button Bright.
Oh, here.
Now, don't get lost again for a moment. Pawn.
Here.
Gloria.
Here.
And Friend Orc.
Present.
Now, in the first place, this King Cruel is a usurper and has no right to rule this kingdom of Jinxland.
That is true. My father was king before him, and I...
You are a gardener's boy. Your father had no right to rule either, for the rightful king of this land was the father of Princess Gloria, and only she is entitled to sit upon the throne of Jinxland.
Good. But what'll we do with King Cruel? I suppose he won't give up his throne unless he has to.
No, of course not. Therefore, it will be our duty to make him give up the throne.
How?
We will conquer him.
How?
I will go to him and tell him to surrender.
Oh, he'll just laugh at you.
I'll tell him I am the emissary of the great Glinda of the Good of Oz.
And he'll have his soldiers seize you and beat you.
They can't hurt me. I have no nerves, just straw. Except for one thing, they cannot injure me. Therefore, I expect to conquer King Cruel with ease.
What is that one thing?
I will never think of it. And now, if you'll kindly excuse me for a time, I will go over to the castle and do my conquering.
Scarecrow, you're a very interesting person, but I'm afraid you will make an awful fizzle of this conquering business, so I believe I'll take a hand in this conquest myself. Yeah, but first of all, I must fly home again, back to my own country. I'm turning myself on. Contact. Stand away from my tail, please, so that the wind from it, when it revolves, won't knock you over.
So off flew my friend Doc, while I headed for the castle of King Cruel. When I reached there, I found a huge crowd of people in the great hall. I marched right up to his throne and said, I am the Scarecrow of Oz, and I command you to surrender yourself, my prisoner. You are too cruel a king to rule so beautiful a country. I hereby declare in the name of Ozma of Oz that this man is no longer the ruler of Jinxland. I should have suspected something when I saw the king's chief advisor, Googly Goo, step up to the king's side and whisper in his ear. But I didn't suspect a thing, and went on with my pronouncement. From this moment, Princess Gloria is your rightful queen, and I ask all of you to be loyal to her and to obey her commands. Just as I finished, I was seized by soldiers and dragged out into the courtyard. Other soldiers had heaped up enough fuel to make a fire that might be seen for miles away. Now, the one thing in all the world that I really fear is fire. I knew it wouldn't hurt me to be destroyed by the flames, but I also knew that many people in the land of Oz, especially Dorothy and the royal Ozma and Glinda and my new friends, would feel sad if they learned that their old friend the Scarecrow was no longer in existence. But I tried to be brave as they tied me to the stake in the middle of the pile of fuel. The king himself struck a match and set fire to the pile. The flame shot up immediately and crept closer and closer to me. But just then, the sky grew dark and a loud buzzing sound was heard. Suddenly, down swept a flock of auks, led by a friend auk, and the powerful currents of air caused by the revolving tails sent the bonfire scattering in every direction. Not one single burning brand ever touched me. I must admit that Auk and his friends proved to be much better at conquering than I had been. One of the largest of the Auks picked up King Cruel and dropped him right into jail. Another large Auk did the same thing to Googly Goo. Then Friend Auk picked up the king's crown and put it on my head.
Well, we were just in time to save you, Scarecrow, which is better than being a minute too late.
True.
You are now the master here, and we are determined to see your orders obeyed.
Thank you, Friend Auk. You were just in the nick of time, else I would have been just a pile of ashes.
Instead, you are king of Jinxland.
No. Gloria is the queen of Jinxland, but no queen with a frozen heart is fit to rule any country. Do you suppose, Friend Auk, that you or your followers could find old Blinky the Witch?
No sooner said than done. I had anticipated your request, and here she is.
Oh, marvelous. Now we can proceed to business. Mistress Witch, I am obliged to request, gently but firmly, that you undo all the wrongs you have done by means of your witchcraft.
I defy you all. By my magic powers, I can turn you all into pigs rooting in the mud. And I'll do it if you are not careful.
I think you are mistaken about that. Before I left the land of Oz, Glinda, the royal sorceress, gave me a box, which I was not to open except in an emergency. But I feel pretty sure that this occasion is an emergency. Don't you, Trot?
Why, we've got to do something. Things seem in an awful muddle here just now, and they will be worse if we don't stop this witch from doing more harm to people.
That is my idea exactly. And therefore I shall take the magic powder from this magic box and, witch, sprinkle it all over you.
Oh, Scarecrow, please have mercy. Oh, dear.
She's growing smaller and smaller and smaller.
Now she is down to my size, and I can fight her.
Oh, no need, Captain Bill.
Haven't you the antidote, Scarecrow? Didn't the great sorceress give you another box?
She did?
Then give it to me, quick. Give it to me, and I will do anything you ask me to.
You made Trot's friend Captain Bill a grasshopper. I command you give him back his proper form again.
Where is he? Where is the grasshopper? Oh, quick, before I disappear completely.
Captain Bill, you're your old self again.
Well, that's more like it. I was awful tired of being a bug.
Scarecrow, I have done what you asked. Quick, give me the other box.
Not yet. You must first melt Princess Gloria's frozen heart.
I can't. It's an awful job to do that. I can't.
You must.
Gloria, you're smiling at me again.
Hello, Pawn. Thank you, Scarecrow. My poor heart is warm again.
The antidote. Give me the other box, quick.
I will. But you must know that you will never regain your normal size, nor will you ever be able to practice your evil witchcraft again. So you see, it all came right in the end. The great flock of orcs took us all back to the wonderful land of Oz. We went to Glinda's castle, where we found Dorothy, and Ozma had been following all our adventures in Glinda's magic TV set and recording all our deeds in the great book of records. Ozma invited all of us to go to the Emerald City for a coronation ball for Queen Gloria. So we all did, and Trot and Captain Bill were most amazed to meet all the wonderful people in the capital city. They met my friend the Cowardly Lion and Tick-Tock, and my friend the Tin Woodman, and H.M. Wigglebug, and Jack Pumpkinhead, and Dorothy's little dog, Toto. Ah, nice Toto. Everyone was there except, who do you guess? Button Bright, who as usual was lost again. But as Ozma said, nobody can go far astray in the land of Oz, and if Button Bright is not lost occasionally, he is not happy. That is the end of my story. I hope all of you will visit me in Oz someday.